Okay, I will briefly talk about the DRR program. I'm in charge of the Disaster Risk Reduction Program in Bolivia. This is a program which is quite unique, I think, within STC. It is a joint program equally funded by Regional Cooperation and Humanitarian Aid. At the same time, it is fully integrated into the portfolio of STC in Bolivia. It is one of 8 big programs in Bolivia. We shifted from more than 30 projects to 8 big programs, and so we are really part of this big portfolio. And what is also special is that although funding is coming from the regional cooperation, the technical lead is with Humanitarian Aid. So what are success factors that led to this? The first element is that all the work of Humanitarian Aid is part of the cooperation strategy in Bolivia. And we are part of one domain focusing on natural resource management together with 2 other programs. Secondly, our team is fully integrated within the office in Bolivia. We take part in all the coordination meetings with NPOs, with the directorate of the office. We benefit from the administration within the office, let's say all contracts, etc. We are using the same administration to accompany our programs and projects. And then another aspect which I think helped a lot was my presence. I was before based in Lima, and since I came here I really was able to have more frequent and direct exchange, especially with the head of cooperation, but also with the country director and with the other operational colleagues. So at one point the directorate of the office said, okay, if the DRR program is one of our 8 programs and is part of our portfolio, we also would like to orientate these activities, and we are willing to contribute with funds. Being part of the portfolio in Bolivia implied that we also align the program to the programmatic approach. I mentioned that we made a shift from more than 30 projects to 8 big programs. This implied also a change within the organizational structure of the program. We had a well-functioning coordination mechanism, which then we opened up and we institutionalized the coordination. Another element is, for instance, that the program has one big log frame, and under this we have different activities that are aligned. So this was a change for the program, but allowed us to really also show that we take up the basic criteria for the programs in Bolivia. Generally, I think a success factor is also that we work with development actors. So our partners, let's say the institution in charge of the implementation of the program, is a development partner and is not a traditional humanitarian aid actor. So I think this allows us to have, in terms of disaster risk reduction mainstreaming, to have another dialogue than if it's just on emergency response or recovery. So in general terms, I think a continuous dialogue was key. I really put a lot of emphasis to clarify also misperceptions of what is the work of the DRR program, that it is not about disasters, but it is about risk management, risk reduction, and that this is part of a development agency nowadays. And thus we could also show the links that we have with the other programs. A key moment was that in the second phase, in the last phase, we were really able to show concrete results. Concrete results on DRR, but also results on climate change adaptation, especially in the agricultural domain. And I think this was also a key to convince the, let's say, decision makers within SDC of non-humanitarian aid domains, concretely regional cooperation, to buy into this joint program. Key persons definitely, and I think we have to acknowledge that, or I would like to acknowledge that, was the strong support that I had from the head of cooperation, who really understood and had the openness to for this integration. But also we felt strong support from the desk officer, from the regional cooperation. And I know that in other contexts it is more difficult to achieve this integration. But I think we were able jointly to really show the added value of the integration between the two domains, regional cooperation and humanitarian aid. And I really hope that the DRR program in Bolivia can be a showcase and can serve as an example for others.
It has been a goal of SDC for a long time to create a bridge between humanitarian aid and the regional cooperation. But many times in the countries where we are working, humanitarian aid was not really an essential part of the cooperation strategy. In Bolivia, the PRRD program is one of 8 programs executed by SDC, and humanitarian aid with that is an essential part of the strategy. It's a very integral part of the strategy. This was a very important point for the integration of all these works, and also the synergy between humanitarian aid and regional cooperation. Also, already in previous phases of the program, the executors of the program partners were the same as in projects of regional cooperation. So there was a very high synergy between regional cooperation and humanitarian aid by the experience of the partners that were already working in regional cooperation projects. And the monitoring of the program actually showed a very high impact in poverty reduction, which is the essential goal of regional cooperation. So the RRD program actually contributed significantly to poverty reduction, and this link and the evidence of that fact was a very important realization. There's also a high awareness in Bolivia that natural disasters actually put at risk the outcome, the results and the outcome of regional cooperation projects. So the mainstreaming of DRR is a very important point. But however, I think for these synergies to work, it's very important to have an openness and also a proactive way of proposing new ways of collaborating, and also the openness to try new things. So actually, it's very important that there is a very good collaboration between the responsible person for humanitarian aid in the country and the rest of the team in regional cooperation.